Our next presenter is the Honorable Tim DeFoor. Tim is the Auditor General of Pennsylvania, who we elected in 2016, or in 2020, and with your help was reelected in 2024. Tim, again, much like Dave Sunday, who was a prosecutor, Tim is actually an auditor, someone that knows how to look at the books, someone who is our fiscal watchdog, who understands both from his experience of having been controller of Dauphin County and his work in the private sector, understands how to look at the books and to make sure that our tax dollars are used wisely. He has worked to oversee the Commonwealth's budget and the various agencies across the state. He has not only done his work in Harrisburg, but has crisscrossed the state. I will tell you that he's not only an experienced professional, but he brings the common sense and the real-world perspective of someone from the private sector. And as he will tell you too, like so many of our speakers, as proud as they are of their professional life, Tim is a dad and is very proud to be a dad, and we'll tell you about that as well. So we welcome to the stage a fine public servant, a wonderful Auditor General, and a proud dad, the Honorable Tim DeFoor.
Guy, thank you for the warm introduction. And on behalf of my fellow row officers, or should I say subject matter experts, it is without a doubt a pleasure to be here. And it was 4 years ago. 4 years ago, I took the office as Pennsylvania's Auditor General. And I understood that I got elected because of people like you. And to you and to others, I have an obligation to do the job the way it's supposed to be done. An Auditor General who draws conclusions based on facts and serve the people of Pennsylvania by bringing up and improving government, not tearing it down. In the 4 years since I've been in office, I've held on to those principles because I truly believe in the purpose of this office. And my family will tell you that it's no coincidence that I followed this career path. Growing up, our parents instilled in us a sense of responsibility and community service. We would talk about government, talk about how government worked, talked about what government did for families like ours, and what government was supposed to do with our tax dollars. And it was because of those early conversations that I knew that someday I wanted to help make government more efficient and go after those who stole and wasted government tax dollars. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't run to my parents and say, hey, Mom and Dad, I want to be an auditor when I grow up. But I was very fortunate to serve as a special investigator with the Pennsylvania Office of the Inspector General, then as a special agent with the Pennsylvania Office of Attorney General, and now as your Auditor General. And as I like to say, I call it hitting the Pennsylvania General trifecta. When I ran for office, I knew right away there was one thing that I had to do. That was to listen. Listen to the people of Pennsylvania. And here's what I learned. I learned that Pennsylvanians wanted their elected officials to do their jobs. They wanted their elected officials to lead with common sense and have their best interests in mind. And they wanted their elected officials to be public servants who made their communities better. So when I got into office, I knew there was something else that I had to do. And that was to listen to my employees. So I started by asking them one question. And that question was, what do you need to be successful? They said that they were ready for a change and they needed a culture shift. When I got the answer, we went to work. We went to work transforming the department from the ground up. And when I say from the ground up, I'm talking about just the basics, like making sure that our auditors had computers that worked, making sure that they had monitors, and making sure that they had all the tools necessary to do their job effectively. From there, we transformed how we did our work. We made sure that our audits were more impactful and meaningful using auditing and accounting best practices and industry standards as our guide. We prioritize training and development, giving our staff the opportunity to grow professionally. We created partnerships with universities, both public and private, to offer tuition discounts and scholarships for our employees, giving them the opportunity to advance their education. We opened our positions to more people than ever, for the first time including people like me, who started out with an associate's degree. We focused on hiring the next generation of auditors by creating career pathways through programs like our intern to hire. I've visited every state related, including our 2 HBCUs and every community college in the Commonwealth, and including private colleges, to recruit the next line of auditors, the next generation of auditors. As Auditor General, I've seen firsthand how a lack of financial education and awareness can lead to an often unintentional financial crisis. And it became very clear to me how important financial literacy is to every Pennsylvanian, starting with our youth. It's not just a personal skill, but financial literacy, it's a life skill. That's why we created our Be Money Smart Financial Literacy Initiative. We worked with community partners who were working with other Pennsylvanians to promote financial literacy across the Commonwealth and to understand financial principles, to help our youth understand financial principles, from things like budgeting, understanding credit, understanding debt management, understanding what you need to do in order to save for an emergency. Oh, and by the way, before I forget, April is Financial Literacy Month, so happy Financial Literacy Month. And even with that, we realized that our work is not done. I said this before, and I am going to continue to say it. We must ensure that financial literacy is taught in every school in Pennsylvania, starting as early as kindergarten. Thank you. Imagine a generation graduating from high school that understands not just how to earn money, but how to save, invest, and to build generational wealth. This is a generation that will drive our economy forward, create jobs, and to fuel innovation. They will need to learn that money is real and not just credit in a video game. They would need to learn that college debt is real and not just numbers on a screen. And they will need to learn how to invest for their future. So for them, retirement is real and not just a fantasy. And thanks to Senator Chris Gephardt leading the fight in the legislature, in school year 2026-2027, Pennsylvania will be the 26th state in the nation to make financial literacy a high school graduation requirement. My first term was about building a foundation, one rooted in transformation, accountability, continued improvement, and service to the community. In that first term, we built a stronger workforce that relied on institutional knowledge while giving others opportunities. We built a foundation not for this administration, but also for future administrations to build on and to improve. Our job description is clear, and that is to make sure state government-funded programs are working and that government is transparent with what it does with our state tax dollars. The description of how we do our work is also clear, and that is to follow the Pennsylvania Fiscal Code, the Pennsylvania Constitution, and the standards of the United States Accountability Office, and that's just to name a few. And it's important that we follow those standards because, well, we get audited. And let me tell you, there's nothing an auditor loves more than to be audited. We get audited by the governor's office. We get audited and peer reviewed by the National Association of State Auditors. And I'm proud to say, during last year's peer review, we received the highest score possible. And that is a remarkable task. Because in my first term, we did a lot. My first term, we did over 14,000 audits. Not 1,400, 14,000 audits. In this fiscal year alone, we are on pace to complete over 3,700 audits. Yes. And we did it with a staff of about 380 people. Now keep in mind, at one time, the Auditor General's office employed close to 1,000. So if you have any questions about how government can be efficient with taxpayer dollars, I think I have some answers. And if you ever have any questions with regards to what we do, please know my door is always open. The only way I know about what's going on in the outside world is to talk to you. Please know my door is always open. Thank you for this opportunity, and thank you for electing me your Auditor General. God bless.